Warning, this video contains spoilers of the games listed. Whoa! Hey everyone, it's me, the Persona Critic, back at it again with another Persona critique video. I hate that stupid voice. But today, I swear, is a serious critique video, so strap in, because today we're gonna go where no Persona fan has gone before. Today, we're actually gonna address the elephants in the room. Today, we're talking about controversies. The Persona series and controversy goes together like moths and bug zappers. Nothing quite turns someone away from the Persona series like our reputation. Yeah. Don't believe me? Well, I've prepared a special song to remind you of all the various hot takes you may have heard over the years. I love all the Persona games and never had a thing to say that could be bad or start debates, except for all the things I hate. Where's the gay guys? Why'd they cut out Yosuke's link? Trans exclusion. Naoto's supposed to be a twink. Where is Femc? Reload's not definitive. Fans don't play them. I really think all they do is repeat the same joke until it's dead and buried, like pancakes, cabbage, Junes, P3, myself, and Dorkun. Did I forget to mention Persona as a series isn't even classified as real SMT? If you dare compare another RPG to Persona, you'll never live it down. Anyhow. Today I'm not actually here to talk about any of these specific issues, and I'm not even saying people can't discuss what they want. It's all fair. I will let fans be fans. Let's be honest, we are not unique whatsoever in respect to fans having very lively discussions regarding their favorite franchises and the problems they have with them. I'm looking at you guys, Sonic fans, and Genshin fans. Look, I'm not messing with either of you guys. I know you got a long-running thing since the Game Awards. Just leave me out of it. I already screwed myself with the song. I don't need more heat. But let's forget all of that noise for a second, and let's redirect our attention to the discussion at hand. There is a lot that has been said about this franchise. Just look at the multiple multi-hour discussion videos that have been made, videos that call the franchise overrated, underrated, a masterpiece, a dumpster fire, you name it, someone has probably said it about Persona. People in some ways care too much about this franchise. It's even at the point where there are certain jokes the fandom has deemed off limits due to how overly used they are. You know the ones. Make this mistake and repeat one of them? Well, you may as well Persona 3 yourself right now. How dare you? Don't you know the extensive list of jokes that are off limits? Speaking of death by redundancy and, well, general fatigue, who here is old enough to remember the fatigue fans had when Persona 4 seemed to be churning out spin-off after spin-off after spin-off? There was a point in time when P4D was the pinnacle of ridiculousness to fans, a sign that Atlus would never move on from their beloved Bessie that was Persona 4. There were even discussions if Persona 5 would even happen, or if it would just be Persona 4 Part 2.
Guess this really is Persona 4 Part 2 then. This is... oh my god.
Fast forward 10 or so years later, and we see what has become of Persona 5 and its insane amount of crossovers and spin-offs, and now there are people who are claiming that Persona 4 is a forgotten gem. Distance truly makes the heart grow fonder. And let's not even get into the Persona 1 and 2 fans. Those poor souls haven't even gotten their botched AI upscaled ports yet, and they will remind you every moment they haven't. But if there's one thing the entire fandom can agree on in something that they all hate, it's the dreaded, the horrible, the downright indecent, the bathhouse scenes.
What's gotten into you all?
You've heard people complain about it. You probably think it yourself. A horrible anime trope that goes far beyond just the Persona series. The sheer amount of incidents where overzealous young men cannot resist the urge to pry their eyes from their female compatriots has bloodied the nose of too many an anime dude to count, in more ways than one. But the fury this trope draws in the Persona fandom can't be overstated, unfunny, predictable, and of course, ew, gross. Well, today, I'm here to break down this controversy. Are the bathhouse scenes really as unfunny and unnecessary as they would have you believe? Let's get to the bottom of this. Well, first, we have to establish some criteria to judge these scenes by. First, did the scene make me laugh? Second, how creative is the situation? And third, is it important to the plot? And, well, fourth, where does the scene rank on the boom meter? So, let's start off with Persona 3. And what better way to spend time with your boys than in the hot spring? All is going well until... In this case, Ryoji and Junpei seem to have conveniently forgot to check the rotating schedule, leaving Makoto and Akihiko out of the loop. Now, I would argue this is a moment that particularly helps to characterize and humanize Ryoji. So, in that aspect, I guess it does flesh him out a little, and maybe it makes it somewhat important. Now, does this scene make me laugh? I mean, a little. I think their poses are funny as they try to cover themselves up. I do kind of find it humorous that they treat it as an operation. They give you full control of the party in order to avoid the girls. There's also some strategy to making sure you get out unseen. So for me, Persona 3 actually checks off all three boxes. It's a bit funny with a little bit of good character context for Ryoji and a creative moment of unique gameplay to switch things up at this point in the game. Now, let's switch things up really quick and let's look at P3P for the FemC route. Unfortunately, it's not nearly as entertaining as it simply switches perspectives to the girls and you have to choose the right option. Since it wasn't written for this route originally, I can't really blame it for falling completely flat. So I'm gonna give it no points this time around since you don't really get anything you don't get from the original. Now, we can't forget P3 Reload, which I actually think plays this one out largely the same, but I think the voice acting sets this one apart. Akihiko's reaction is particularly funny to me, but this time, instead of actually walking around, your options are text choices. Now, what I find most funny about this is that the stupidest options are the right options, so I'm gonna say this one, once again, for me, it kind of checks off all three boxes. Anything beyond that, while still tropey, is whatever. Although, as an honorable mention, I think the movie actually does it the best. By far the funniest setup with Junpei's towel getting lost along the way, and the inspiring speech, and the no man left behind nature of it all. So I think the movie takes the cake here when it comes to actually making me laugh. But I actually think as well with Ryoji, this better helps flesh him out, particularly in this movie, because there's so much less time you spend with him in a movie as opposed to a game. What's that get on the boom meter?
That's gonna get a 5 out of 5 on the boom meter. Boom! 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 Boom!
Thanks, guys. I can always count on you. Now, it's time that we move on to Persona 4. And while you may think I was being friendly to Persona 3 scene, I'm not gonna lie, Persona 4 is hard to convince myself that it's really all that funny. I swear I have a distant memory of laughing at this when I played P4G originally all those years ago. This is probably the closest to what people generally seem to think of these scenes as. I mean, there is a bit of plot relevance to them taking Nanako along with them, as this is one of the few times she really gets to spend real time with the team, which is kind of important in a way. Although I can't tell if Chie is being sarcastic here with this line.
Wow, I bet he's so proud of you.
So that made me laugh a bit. This one does start with the girls instead of the guys though, so making real strides here, Atlas. Now, the guys walk in believing it's their turn, only to be pummeled with wooden basins as they're called out for being pervs. But the only real humor I can see them going for here is the the never-ending deluge of buckets as you try to stand your ground. But then it's revealed that the girls were wrong this whole time, so I guess that's the joke? But that's about it, honestly. But then the guys immediately lose their goodwill the audience had for them and immediately begin spying on the girls. So yeah, haters win this round, I guess. I'm gonna say this one is more or less pointless. No creativity, no laughing, no plot relevance with the exception of giving Nanako some time with her friends. I hate to say it, but I don't think this gets any booms on the boom meter.
Yeah, you guys, you messed with the
I know, I'm sorry, man.
Let's go!
But here we are at Persona 5. And of course, as we all know, this one is by far the most egregious. What do you mean Persona 5 doesn't have one? Oh. Okay, never mind. Hey, wait a second. I see what you're trying to pull. I know what you're doing. Holding off on the hot spring for the sequel. Yeah. Just don't catch me you doing that next time, you little rascal. Well, they just couldn't help themselves with the sequel, could they? So how does it play out this time? Well, basically, it's a mix of 3 and 4, which I would argue this far in makes this the least creative, as they're going back to the well for a third time. Although I can give them some credit, this time the guys genuinely seem not to realize that the baths switched, and they don't attempt to spy on them. So good for the P5 cast, they have now been deemed the most chaste. Well, at least in this situation. They go into operation mode to escape, but this time you don't really get the option to control your party in any real way, so it just plays out like your typical cutscene. Did I laugh? No, I didn't. Does it add any context or creativity? Not really, other than kind of showcasing something of Kyoto, I guess. So yeah, then they get beaten up. This one's honestly pretty lame. No points in this category for this one, sadly. No boom meter. I can't bear it right now. So that's it, right? Only 3 in Reload proved to be funny and somewhat relevant. Well, what if I told you I'm saving the best for last? The scene that I would argue is the funniest and yet the most important plot-relevant bathhouse scene. In fact, you cannot even get through to the 3rd semester of P5 Royal without this key scene. That's right, you know I'm talking about the Akechi Bathhouse Confidant event. This one, right off the bat, makes me laugh because Sojiro is so uncomfortable with them and he tells them to go take a bath together. And then you get there and Ren is immediately like, huh, this is weird. And then Akechi starts talking about how bathhouses remind him of his mom getting banged by random dudes, and then launches into how much he hates his dad. Which, I may add, all of this is very important character development for Akechi in order to understand him. And Joker gets a taste of Akechi's real self, and he's like, dude, are you okay? And then they get out of the bath, and Akechi is pondering why he started spilling out all his personal issues on Joker in the bath. Joker's like, can I just put on some clothes? And then Akechi's like, wow, that makes you so different from me, wanting to put clothes on right now. And if you're not laughing at this by now, I don't know what's wrong with you. Who responds this way? Anyhow, you get your rank up. He calls you and ponders what makes you both so different or the same or whatever. And then it's done. So for the sake of simplicity, this one definitely makes me laugh. It was pretty creative in how it was built into the Confidant rank, and it gives you important context to Akechi's past and true self before setting him up for the end of the main story, and also how it sets him up for the 3rd semester. So yeah, this one is kind of the pinnacle right here. So all in all, are the hot spring bathhouse scenes all that bad? Nah, I don't think so. At most, they're just a few minutes of inconvenience to the player. At best, they'll actually give you a laugh and fill you in on some character details that help better flesh out someone a bit more. So is the hate justified? I don't know, probably not. Wasn't there a mod specifically to cut these scenes out in one of the games or something? But now that I have definitively proven the individual importance of these scenes, you can all thank me for my courage and my objective analysis of these controversial moments you all would surely be too afraid to ever dissect. Truth, justice, and the American way, I always say. I get something for this, right?
I take Venmo.
No.
Well, thanks for watching, and be sure to keep an eye out for my next Persona controversy video where we dissect if Adachi is really a misogynist or not. Believe me when I say, me and the guy who makes the 10-hour character analyses are gonna have a whole lot to say on this subject. So, let me just adjust my glasses here. Do you really think if Adachi was a misogynist, he would say that